What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back after a while with some more Dead Kennedys. Indeed, I wanted to give a shout out to a new friend of the channel. I think it's Blane. If I'm saying that wrong, please correct me. But yeah, started commenting on videos as diverse as Tragically Hip, Iron Maiden, and Dead Kennedys. And anyone who knows this channel knows that I'm a bit of a musical omnivore. I listen to a wide variety of genres and styles, so anyone who starts commenting on different videos across, different hallways and avenues of my channel, I'm very fond of right away. So big shout out to you. And he was talking about a couple tracks, asking about if I've reacted to all the plastic surgery disasters. There's one or two on there that I haven't gotten to. I have reacted to a number of those, as well as the In God We Trust EP, because that's combined on my vinyl copy. But I will get back to those. But it occurred to me that I've reacted to very few of the tracks on Bedtime for Democracy, and one tune that I wanted to react to is called Shrink. It's a really interesting tune. It's like, it's the kind of tune that comes from the mind of Jello Biafra, in that it's insane and yet it's very clever and also, politically and socially critical. Which is to say, he speculates, what if we developed a technology that allowed humans to shrink down to a very small size? Well, think of all the things that would instantly become less of a problem. Overcrowding and using too much space and, ultimately not, disrupting ecosystems. These all become less of an issue. We're not going to use as much space. We don't need as much land. We're not going to, disrupt ecosystems as much if we're that small. Secondarily, think of all the food that can now be used to go around, like a single unit of food for a 6-foot tall human. If we're all, 1 inch tall, that amount of food could actually cover a great many people over a large amount of time. So ultimately, he makes a point that, the freeways, there'd be no more traffic. We'd all, the issues that we deal with on a daily level would not be nearly as much of a thing. And he's like, surely we can do it, right? We put a human on the moon, we can develop, nuclear weapons, we can do all sorts of things that require a great level of understanding of physics and chemistry and so on. So surely we could be able to do that. But then the cynical or critical Jello stepping in says, well, what would happen if we actually do that? Well, probably the wealthy and the influential and the beautiful people would say, well, but we don't want to have to do that. Enough people have now done it that, the major issues have been alleviated, so we're going to keep acting big. And now, actually, it's a physical representation of what we've always felt, that we're big and we're in control of things, and all the dupes and the saps and the people who actually bear the burden of society, now they're small and they're the ones who had to sacrifice to make this a more livable world, but we're going to stay the way we are. So again, it's like this, there's a lot of songs where you can tell Jello, it's a very speculative or fantastical thinker, but then also he's reined in by the hard, brutal realities of the historical record and evidence. So yeah, it's a story where he thinks of this crazy technology and then immediately thinks of how it would be exploited or used to further the dominance of people who already sort of pull the strings and control, society and so on. So it's, again, I think it's quintessentially Jello Biafra, it's quintessentially Dead Kennedys. Let's get it. This is Bedtime for Democracy, the 1986 album, and the track is called Shrink.
If only people could shrink, our world wouldn't be so overcrowded. Bring ourselves down to size. There'd be so much more food to go around. Why don't nothing but slave? We're falling behind the industries. We're falling out of our food. We're gonna need more room to breathe real soon. Oh. So now you think a big trick. Meanwhile, we'll keep acting big. We will be the more people who says we have
essentially, Dead Kennedys. It's fun, it's quirky, it's, again, scathing, and cynical and wicked, so I love it. And like I said, I think it's very much indicative of some of the best writing from Jello. So yeah, I've said it before, you know, Dead Kennedys, it's a complicated history, and obviously they came back in more recent times to re-release their old catalog now under the control of the other three guys. And, you know, R.I.P. to D.H. Peligro, who died, I think, between the last time I did a Dead Kennedys video and this one. Maybe I've done a Dead Kennedys one since then, I don't remember, but he did pass away. Like I said, I'm a huge Jello Biafra fan, but I get it, the breakup was complicated, it was related to the Frankenchrist album, the trial they went through, and so on. And I get it, there actually were, like, royalty payments that, like, hadn't been sufficient, but bottom line, I'm happy they existed in the original form as long as they did, and we got as much material as they did. And I mentioned it before, but this album I really do appreciate, because there are 21 tracks. So obviously it was a sort of like, look, we're breaking up, like, all the material we have on the table we're going to throw into this album. So I do enjoy how long this one is, and as I said, I haven't even reacted to like half of it. So like I said, big shout out to Blane. We will get back to more from this album and more Dead Kennedys, more from DOA. I think he commented on the DOA reaction. I'm a big fan of DOA. So yeah, lots more punk coming, and a couple deep dives that have been dormant for a while will be reawakened. So let me know what you think of this one. I will see you next time. Peace.